If the world premiere of COVID-19 caught you off guard, you may need to get prepared for a sequel. Many scientists believe the pandemic likely will dissipate over the summer only to return late this year in a second wave that could be worse than the first. While that outlook is no certainty, just one of several plotted by public health experts, disaster planning is all about anticipating worst-case scenarios. So, with months to go before a possible round 2, is the United States prepared, medically, economically and emotionally? The leading answer from epidemiologists, economists and futurists is probably not. But tomorrow depends in part on what we do as individuals, communities and a nation. The destabilization described by Johnson is glaringly evident in 3 realms: medicine. Some U.S. hospitals, hit with patient surges in COVID-19 hotspots, ran out of ventilators, personal protective equipment and other supplies. The strategic national stockpile was nearly emptied. Thanks to a global manufacturing binge, supplies appear to be catching up and, in key locations such as New York City, the disease is abating for now. But, if the coronavirus returns with a second wave, will the healthcare system be ready? The economy. Unemployment is higher than any time since the 1930s. Businesses, from mom-and-pop shops to major corporations, are going under. Global trade is crippled. Travel, sports and entertainment industries are mostly dormant. How much more financial trauma can the economy endure? Emotional damage. Psychological, social and political strains of the coronavirus, though not easily measured, are palpable products of a medical and economic nightmare. If the pandemic gets worse down the road, threatening our fabric of work, schools, homes and governance, will Americans be ready? Hoping for a miracle on the healthcare front, it's crucial to recognize that COVID-19 is, as University of Michigan epidemiologist Arnold Monto puts it, a very strange virus. Its origin, transmission, symptoms and damage remain puzzles. And its future seems to defy computer modeling. Because of that, experts start any conversation by warning that the first wave is still cresting and that predicting the future of the coronavirus is a fool's game. If you don't express doubt about what's going to happen, you really haven't done your job, noted Monto, who has consulted for the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control. My take is you have to keep an open mind and prepare for all eventualities. Monto and others point out that COVID-19's threat could be blunted by the development of a vaccine or a treatment. But many epidemiologists share the view of Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, who testified during a congressional hearing Tuesday. The idea of having treatments available or a vaccine to facilitate re-entry of students into the fall term would be something that would be a bit of a bridge too far. Amid coronavirus, app exams went online and had tech problems. College Board says it's investigating. We still haven't gotten our act together, said Erwin Redlener, director of the National Center for Disaster Preparedness at Columbia University. I think it's inevitable that we're going to have a second, if not a third, wave because of the nation's erratic and disorganized policies. The biggest single failure was the lack of testing in this country, agreed Eric Toner, senior scholar with Johns Hopkins University's Center for Health Security. That influenced every single other thing that has gone wrong. And we still have problems in testing. Monto's big fear is a resurgence of COVID-19 coinciding with a deadly flu outbreak, overwhelming hospitals, healthcare workers and supply systems. If they're all synchronized, it may really break down, he said. To me, that's the worst-case scenario. I don't think we're ready now. Medical supplies, the great unknown. Without a vaccine or treatment, and with testing problematic, hospital preparedness looms crucial. But questions about medical supplies lead to a dead end. It's not clear how many ventilators or personal protection outfits would be needed, how many are now in stock, or how many may be produced by a ramped-up manufacturing system during the coming months. In mid-April, Toner estimated supply demands in the United States for a 100-day surge of COVID-19, 4 billion gloves, 321 million gowns and 179 million medical-grade masks. But those numbers are no longer valid, he said, and the actual need is unclear. Even if an accurate count was available, there is no national inventory showing the volume of supplies on hand. Nor is there a calculation of worldwide manufacturing increases amid the crisis, which could meet the demand. In a National Action Plan for Medical Preparedness issued this month, Toner and other researchers at Johns Hopkins portray the U.S. healthcare system almost like an intensive care patient who is bleeding out, desperately needing an infusion of money to restock supplies and reinforce staffing. While a federal bailout bill provides $175 billion to cover losses, the report says, that's not nearly enough. While the price is high, authors concluded, it will certainly cost less than the trillions now being spent because our public health and healthcare system was not prepared or equipped for this pandemic. Economy, recovery or ruin? In a recent op-ed for the New York Times, Roma and fellow economist Alan Garber wrote about the dueling threat coronavirus poses to America's public health and financial well-being. While shutdowns may allow some people to survive, they concluded, it is our economy that will be dead. In an interview, Roma said that whether COVID-19 stays on its present course or ebbs and surges, the nation faces an unemployment rate of 30%, yet people seem to think it will just go away, allowing life to resume as before. Surviving a psychic trauma. Almost everything about American life has changed: jobs, schools, homes, churches, entertainment. Psychiatric journals are churning out articles on suicide and mental health problems triggered by fear, financial ruin and social isolation. An already polarized political system seems utterly askew, with dueling versions of reality. And the internet's output of conspiracy theories, lies and apocalyptic visions has gone on steroids. Johnson, the futurist at Arizona State University, said it's not yet clear how we're handling the first go-round of coronavirus, let alone additional waves. But upheaval is coming. After the 9/11 attacks, Johnson noted, there were changes, from sweeping anti-terror legislation to relatively small things, like footwear. We've normalized taking off our shoes at the airport. While Johnson prefers to focus on human resiliency, he acknowledged doomsday visions are part of the profession. With COVID-19, he said, there are ways of looking at this destabilization where it does not restabilize.